Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Glens Falls Water and Sewer Board special meeting, September 2nd, 2025. It's a little after 2 p.m. The first thing we do is open up the public participation. I do not see anybody here from the public. And Peter, will you let us know if anybody joins us and has any questions or something they'd like to share in public participation? I'll come back to it. Next up, we have our stormwater moment, and I see it here. It's in your packet. Bill, you want to lead us?
Yeah, going along with our monthly stormwater notice. This is be the solution to stormwater pollution. Pick up after your pet, toss litter in a trash can, minimize use of pesticides and fertilizers, compost or grass clippings and leaf litter, wash your car on your lawn so it goes down and be filtered through the soil. Check your car for leaks so you don't have any oil leaks leaking out to various surfaces so that makes its way during rainstorms into storm drains. Maintain your septic system so that you feel is working properly and not making its way into any waterways. And chlorinate pool water and run it over the grass when it's charging rather than down a storm drain or anywhere. Elevated chlorine can get into the waterways and do some aquatic problems.
Okay. Yep, fair enough. We're throwing curveballs at everybody as we try to get our network back up and running. So, no problems. Go ahead, Bill. So, Bill,
That's it.
Stormwater. That's your stormwater moment.
I don't know if anybody has any questions.
I can't believe that I got to check my car for leaks and that I can't put it down my storm. I know, shock. Got to have sarcasm in every day. Billing issues. Do we have any billing issues?
No billing issues.
No billing issues.
Not for myself, but I actually just got this before I left City Hall. I made copies. I let them know that you probably wouldn't necessarily make a decision on it today, but I did make copies. Just wanted to make sure.
We can pass that along and put it on the agenda for our next meeting. You can take a look at it. How's that, everybody? Sound reasonable?
Well, I did, one more thing. I did have a question from a gentleman in a voicemail that I have to get back to. He filled his pool using some water, so I have to see if he's on minimum usage or not. And then, so he didn't want to be charged for the sewer to go up because he didn't go down anymore.
Right.
So
I think it
I'm not
came
sure.
out, but it didn't go in.
Yeah. So he was filling his, a gentleman, I can't remember the name of that address, but he called me. He filled his pool, so his water bill was going to elevate, which is fine. He says he has no problem paying the water, but he didn't want to pay an elevated sewer use fee because all that water didn't go down the sewer.
Or the adjustments made on his assessment.
I don't know. I see, I didn't know if I've ever run across this before. So,
Because we don't have a meter for the sewer, so we judge your sewer by the amount of water you
How much is he talking about?
that's what I have to see. He may be under the minimum, so he may not.
I thought he wanted the sewer bill was equal to water in it all the time.
I think he filled it. I think it was a brand new. I don't know. 10,000 gallons. I don't know. So.
Capital charge. Capital charge. Right, that's what I'm thinking. You're right.
Yeah.
An above ground pool or?
I don't know the particulars.
So the capital charge wouldn't change, but his water.
That's not the assessment, so it would change.
Right. So the usage, though, if he used, let's say he used 10,000 gallons more water, normally your sewer rate would go up based on that additional usage rate, because you'd assume that the 10,000 was from flushing the toilet and it was going into the sewer. He was smart enough to call and see, and you'll take a look and let us know what.
Several years ago, when Andy and I owned, we were up higher English, just a big seven.
Right.
They paid your water bill, but came over one day and said, we watch your airplanes outside, and all this and that, we don't use this a lot. The amount of water we use does all the way down sewer. Go find it, go find it.
Yeah.
So, they pay it. I don't know how they paid out, I know they called it.
I don't know.
But it shouldn't be that.
Do they have a way of quantifying it? I don't
You
know.
want to be careful with that, set precedents and that.
Yeah, you really do.
I really think we want to.
I think what they were told is that the only way to do that properly is to put a meter on it.
I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough contractors out there with trucks hauling water. I mean, if you didn't want to pay the sewer charge, then you should have done that. Or gone to the city and if there's a hydrant close, see if they could put a meter on the hydrant.
I don't, a lot, there's more water. and
There's other ways to do it.
Of course, it's based on the assessment, but
Just wanted to bring it to your attention.
it's not to be decided.
Gotcha. Okay.
So then you're gonna run into sprinkler systems in the yards and you're gonna have to come up
Do
with
depth
a
meters.
dual
Yep.
meter system and software to figure out how to do it and everything. It's gonna be a big expense. So,
And like Bill's saying, it may not be affected at all if he's, even with the pool, he might be under his minimum usage. So it wouldn't affect the sewer bill at all anyway, if he's still under.
Have to be also small pool. Affect your water. Your bill, right?
It's a new ground pool, you're talking 20 grand.
20,000 gallons.
Yeah.
A lot.
Wow.
So to pay the difference is probably the best thing, or to not do
That's why these guys want water.
it. Okay, that's why if you were gonna put one in,
That's when I put my pool in this way,
you paid to have somebody deliver the clean
the
pool
water
water.
delivered and topped it off with the city water.
Yep. But I did.
That's what you did too, Peter? All right,
Yeah,
there you go, Bill.
Your replacement liner, we pump whole lot into a tanker. And then it goes about half of it.
Wow, cool, all right. It's good to know. Learn something new every day. All right, resolutions. The first up is the approval of the water and sewer minutes from August 4th, 2025. Anybody have any questions about the minutes, corrected changes or anything? Not hearing any. Do we have a motion to approve?
So,
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
yes.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. No warrant available as Munis is down, but we'll have it. We're going to turn next week, or 2 weeks from now, the third Monday in September is the normal workshop that we're going to turn into a normal meeting. Okay, so we can pass the warrant. And then, great, thank you.
Is there anything under that needs to be passed immediately?
If it is, what will happen is I'll get a manual check and we'll pay it by, if there's a bill that needs to be paid, I'll pay it with a manual check and it'll go out that way.
The only one I would be concerned about maybe Bill Green.
Great. So,
Unless it was a discount, so they-
yeah, if that comes up, you let me know and you get it in front of me and we'll sign it. Okay? And then a resolution for F&W Forestry Watershed Management Plan that was proposed and we discussed at one of our last couple meetings. Anybody have any questions, comments?
I'm surprised that the spread of the two.
Well, this is the watershed forest management plan. This isn't the bid. This is the, remember the management plan we talked about?
Yeah. Oh, this is for that.
That's
We just got an email.
that just came today.
Oh,
We
okay.
just got that today.
Maybe we should read those.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to put it on there.
All right, move on next.
Yeah, that's
approve
where,
the-
remember that we're gonna do the whole watershed property, that we're gonna start with the lower watershed property and then move up to the other. I think it was, yeah, it was like, I think the total cost was,
There was 15,
yeah. And,
15,000, and then it
split in 2
over
years.
two payments.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's what we're doing.
yeah,
Let's do
And they'll do the
5,500.
work over 2 years, but it's 15 years worth.
yeah, 5,500 the first year and then 9,500 the second year.
Yes, do we have a motion to approve the management plan, forest management plan? Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Second, just make it. If I don't write down things I remember in the truck.
Another wire open.
What do we call the electrical, that's almost done, 99% done? It's the electrical
Upgrade.
upgrade. It's the engineer job, right? Next on it is a resolution TKC work at Glen Street and Crandall Pond. Which work is that? I'm sorry, I haven't.
That's the repair that was due because National Grid had done the project on the open street. And found
Gotcha.
a huge cave under the ground. Basically, the pavement was being supported by cement on the pavement and the trolley track.
The K and TK is Kabricki.
Yes,
Gotcha.
Tom Kabricki.
Anybody have any questions about the work? I'm sorry that I asked the question. I know the answer to it. With motion? Yes.
We've got a 33,926.
Page 15, Peter?
Yes, if you look at that, that's
Page 16, yeah.
for all,
Overhead.
that's for all of his materials and overhead and profit.
That's all the materials added together that were listed in the previous pages. Is that a subtotal? It is a subtotal. It's not added into it as a separate thing. So we'd have to add all those pages. No, where is it? You sure, Bill? Will you take a look?
I will take,
Yeah, they subbed it out earlier too, like here. See the 237,
yeah,
that was a sub for.
It's a subtotal of,
Yeah.
of that P. It's not a separate thing for it. As a matter of fact, following the line, right? The last item was 15% profit overhead materials only is 4,425. Subtotal of all the materials is 30. What is the total of this bill?
271.
Where, what
The-
page is that?
That's page 271. I think that's if Peter was that's probably just off by 1 15%. But yeah, the original price came in at $339. We told them we'd pay $225, and we negotiated from there.
Pretty
So-
detailed invoice either.
Yeah, and I received several of them. And kept sending them back. So from the original price, we negotiated down to almost $57,000. So, and quite honestly, it was, a job that was engineered as we were going. Between all of the different storm lines that were coming in, all of the different elevations we had to meet, the elevation of the Crandall Pond, moving the outfall of Crandall Pond, approximately 20-25 feet north, making sure everything lined up. We had 4 or 5 different structures. We were hoping to use 3 manholes, but when we got there, because of the configuration, we had to use some square structures rather than round manholes. It was pretty good, and I thought Tom did an excellent job.
Did we fill the gap that we found, the cave?
We filled it, yes, with between soil and some fillable, and then we filled the gap with soil and compacted and everything in the proper layers, And then we also brought in some flowable fill to fill the old pipe that was there that was.
That's in here.
And so water that was flowing from Crandall Pond was going through a natural stone thing, and now it's going from a different area over.
Part of it was still stone, but part of it was into a 20-inch pipe.
Okay,
Concrete was showing its age with cracking and all that. That was all replaced with SDR 35, I believe, PVC. We were able to get that for a little less than half price because Saratoga County Water and Sewer had it on site, but they had it for another job. Tom knew about it. We got it for like less than half price. We got about 80 feet of it. It was actually on Tom's truck coming here before we got the okay.
Yeah.
So Dan Rourke, I don't know, maybe David's familiar with Dan Rourke down there. Sergeant's been a really, really nice gentleman, helped us out.
yeah.
So,
Any other questions? Good motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Okay.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you.
before we leave resolutions, what he was alluding to was this morning, we've got the bid prices. I neglected to include it on the agenda, so we can do one or two things. We'd like to approve it, or we can hold this, since it was going to be a special meeting in 2 weeks anyway, we can hold it to that.
Okay.
But it's approving the sale.
It's approved the sale, so it doesn't go to council anyway, because it's a,
Okay.
It's well wrapped up.
it's entirely up to the board and how they feel.
You got it.
Because it wasn't
When
in the
did you get it?
agenda. We got it at 10 o'clock this morning. But normally we include it in the agenda. But
Right.
a little craziness
Public
from
notice.
last week, but
Yeah.
all the computer stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, if we want to hold on.
Since we're having the meeting in
Yeah.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
you're okay with that? And then nobody can say we didn't make proper public
Right.
notice.
And you can see in the email, usually, like I said, Tom's very conservative. Even in this one, he wasn't quite as conservative enough. So it came in a little less. He thought it was going to come in at 156,000. It came in at 117.
Gives the reason why.
Yes, he gives all the reasons why in the email.
That's the first time I can recall him not missing it by 20 grand under.
Usually we come in way over his estimate. There's been,
Makes us feel.
I think the first one, I think he estimated at 150, we came in over 200 grand.
Yeah.
Of the markets.
The market has shifted and there's different kinds of wood that they're looking for. So he goes into how this will help us get some of the aged wood and the dye and stuff out of there too.
Great. So we'll table it and put it on next agenda.
It's the proper thing to do.
Electrical upgrade.
We still have the 90% drawings. We're still going through them, coming up with our comments. Ray Pierce is looking to set up a kickoff meeting. Everybody around here, we have the asset management plan. As you can see, Joanne did a good job of cleaning the table because you couldn't see the table with all the papers that were here that we're doing the asset management that we are, the engineering firm CHA is doing it for New York State. That's the thing that we got a grant from New York State to go ahead and do. We kicked it off about 6 weeks ago. So they're right in the throes of it. So they're getting all of our information and trying to package that all together to do an asset management plan for us. So going forward, we'll have all the equipment, we'll know the age of the equipment, the maintenance of the equipment, the life expectancy of the equipment, when it needs to be maintained, cost of life expectancy. So all of that will be part of that study.
How long is the project?
This is probably going to be probably going to take at least a year, maybe.
We need to hold.
Well, the asset management plan.
Okay.
So that's why we haven't been able to have the kickoff of the electrical upgrade. So hopefully once that's done and over with, again, we were one of 50 plants throughout New York selected to do that in part of the grant process. Unfortunately, we were the last phase. They did 1, 2, and 3 were the last phase. So there are a couple other things that they're throwing in there. So And this is also going to assist us whenever we apply for any grants. And we have part of it, we have an asset management plan
Okay.
that'll give us some points, some additional points. I don't know if it'll put us over the top of anything, but it can give us some additional points. So that said, the electrical upgrade, we're getting set for comments, and so this is taking precedent over that a little bit, so we haven't had all the comments, but we're looking to have a meeting with them to go over all the comments about the 90% and then decide on how we're going to proceed. I think by the end of this year, we have to have it all paid for anyway because it's part of everything has to be paid
That's correct.
by the 31st of 2020.
Make sure you speak to Wendy and Mark
Yep.
about that, and make sure that billing, you do the billing as absolutely as fast
Yeah.
as you
I
can.
think that's the only thing left that we have in the law, but that hasn't been taken. Yeah.
Make sure of that.
Yep.
That's great.
No, I'm well aware of that.
Awesome. I know that some of it, we're pressuring people to get the bills paid because the state is how can you actually spend the money? So we had to have a bill, we had to have all of it allocated by January 1st. And we did. And now we gotta get the bills paid. And so it's September and they're, saying, well, how do you have really have spent this or allocated it before January, but now it's September and you haven't gotten paid. This is a great example of why. But a lot of them are, and it's a matter of now getting that money out the door, getting the bills paid as it's been allocated. So that's what, it's a big task so that we don't give any of the money back. Lose the money, not spend it properly. So it was a great 3-year project, started by Mayor Hall, and we're finishing it. So it's great. Yes, absolutely. And so also, before we move on regarding that, so at the last council meeting, we had a special, just like you weren't able to pass the warrant in this meeting, and we're having a special meeting, similar thing happened with the council meeting. Because our network was down, we postponed the regular council meeting, but we had to have one a special meeting of the Common Council. We had it last Thursday, and we did that because of the need to increase the bond allocation for this electrical upgrade. So the last time that the council approved it, and the reason we do that is we had to estimate what the total upgrade would be so that we could apply for grants, right? And we have to have a bond resolution, not to say that we're borrowing any money yet, but that we're willing to borrow the money if we don't get the grants. It's a requirement for you to apply for the money is that the council has passed a resolution, a bond resolution. So on Thursday night, we had a special council meeting, real quick one, with one agenda item to increase the electrical upgrade bond resolution from 14 million to 20 million, a $6 million increase. And it passed unanimously by the council, which is good news, right? But it was a request from a council member to have you to present to them in the next month or so an understanding of what is it just the cost? We actually think, I said, well, you know what? No, there was some very specific things. So some of this $6 million, some of the project that went from 14 million to 20 million, some of it, a good portion of it. I'll just say it that. I have to say it vaguely because I don't honestly know the numbers. But remember there was electrical coming in here and that we had to redesign that whole piece of it. I can't say it correctly, but that's what the council would like, and maybe you could come to the council again, end of September, maybe early October, and present to them now the whole picture. We know we needed this. We've had failures in the switch gear, and we blew the full switch gear in December of last year. We also had some massive changes to what is needed to be done, right? This is about an entire electrical upgrade. And then also costs have skyrocketed. The one council member requested it, Councilman Lapham, was kind of joked, or not joked, but commented, remember when we originally thought, when I gave them the original, well, $1 to $3 million, and we put 1 million aside of ARPA money, and the 1 million will basically pay for just the upgrade, the design. That's it, the design of it. So they would like an update, and I think that the information you just gave too about we got a grant to do the asset management, and that helps us with future grants, and that will now. I think that the reason that we had to have that council meeting and have them pass it Thursday was that we're going to put a grant into DEC, and it's due next week, maybe?
Jeremy said, yeah, I think by the end of this week.
By the end of this week. So that's why we did it. It was passed, and they're asking for you to come and give them an update regarding it all. And so that was my note that I had, that it came to my head. Okay? So, and so let me know when that might work best for you. And again, I'm thinking the second, or the fourth Tuesday of September, or the second Tuesday of October, which would be when the normal council meetings are. Let me know when that would work best for you. Okay? And then next up on the discussion is the computer issues. I'll give you the update. We had the network was down. We had a cybersecurity event. The network is all computers, all network in the city of Glens Falls went down on August 22nd. It was back up as of Friday. That doesn't mean that all of our computers are back up and running. It means that we've gotten rid of any bug or threat to our system. We engaged a cybersecurity team as is agreed to and needed by our insurance policy. That we have a specific insurance policy just for this. The staff has done a fantastic job. We're working with a cybersecurity team, a cybersecurity attorney that comes with that, and StoreTech. We're in a very good place compared to most. We're being told that compared to many municipalities, we're fantastic. I just read, somebody sent me a text saying an entire state department, I forgot what the name of the state was, that their entire state department is down due to the exact same sort of thing. So this is happening all over the country and all over the world, and we're in a pretty good place. The network is back up. Munis is back up, and now we're trying to get all of our laptops have had additional security shield installed to them, and they're coming back, and we're struggling through I've got a brand new, I don't know like everybody else, but I can tell you that I don't remember what my security thing was. So everybody's security passwords and the network has changed, everybody's updated, and we're working through that now. And then within a few weeks, we will have a report on the nature of this, on the forensics which is being done, so that we can make sure if there's anything we can learn from it, that we learn from it. And that is it. We sent out a press release beginning of last week, I think, as soon as I came back from vacation, and so that's it. So back up and almost running. How's that? And that's why we did not have a warrant for today's meeting. Any questions? The next is cleaning water treatment tanks. Bill?
Roughly every 4 years goodbye, we do the insides, and then a couple years later, like in between, like the Olympics, we'll go out and do the outsides. USG came in, they were doing the outside, I believe it was Tech 1. They brought in a big lift that we've used in the past, but for some reason they brought the lift in. I don't know if this was a bigger one or not, but got it in, no problem. Did the one tank, but when they were coming out, they somehow just turned the wheels and they buried it. Ricky Smith, and it always happens at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So Ricky Smith called me frantic about this, so they were going to bring in a big wrecker. They brought the big wrecker, they're backing it up. They couldn't do that because we have pipes under there, so we were very concerned about the pipes. So they actually brought the wrecker down and pulled woods on the trail, and perpendicular. They brought it to the fence, and then they brought the chains and they pulled it. So once they started pulling it and got out of it, they could narrow the tires, because you couldn't narrow them because they were dug in. And then they finally got it out of there. So no foul, no harm. They won't be doing that again. Ricky is very concerned. He's still concerned. So we're trying to figure out. They'll probably do it from the top and just with like window washers, do it that way. And then so there was no problems with that other than concerns about bringing that equipment over the pipes and things like that. So
How deep are the pipes underneath them?
they're probably somewhere between 6 and 8 feet, I would think. Maybe a little less, but absolutely under frost level and stuff like that. I mean, they're big pipes and there's always water running through them, so you don't really have to worry about frost as much. So, but that was
Still, you don't want to do
no, that was
you
the
don't
excitement.
want multi-ton
No, exactly. So.
equipment
And
over here.
that's something historically that they've done. They're not letting things in there. So they did a weight calculation. And some of the, best laid plans of my survey. So
It was dumping some stone or something around that, or?
well, that's all it is stone. So it was just digging
Oh, it
into the
wasn't
stone,
stone, it was sandy.
and then they were supposed to have mats or plywood as they were moving. Obviously, I think they took a little shortcut.
Safe
Is
time?
that something we do, or we have
No,
other
that's
people?
USG. That's the part of our service agreement with them. When we pay $100,000 a year. If they could clean them, every so many years, and then at the end of the 20 years, they come back, they paint them again, and then we go ahead and re-up for the service. It's working. I tell you, it's worked so well that I brought them into connection. So they're going to meet with me again. So. And then only the last thing, I'm done. Any questions on that? The only other thing I didn't put down, the flushing program's going to start on the 22nd. The advertisements should be going out, they should go out today into the Chronicle, and Post-Star. And then you'll start seeing signage.
I have a question. It's not a very unpopular statement of opinion. I'm noticing a lot of roadside unbagged heaps of stuff that's been there for weeks. And people just kind of wait until open pickup starts happening, then it goes away, but it sits there first. And I also am realizing the amount of you park your car in your grass, here's a ticket. Like, Phil is really kicking in and following rules and catching things that are against. But that one seems to be never addressed so much. And when we flush, especially, I can see it on my own street, it's just all those piles that are just sitting there right down the corner, and they clog all the storm sewers. And I just wish there was as much attention to that kind of thing as there is parking cars on grass. and not to cut at that, but just this one sends stuff down our pipes and smashes things around and catches our bar screen here, all the things. And it's possibly more expensive and dangerous in the general mechanical sense than some other things are, and it just kind of is like, oh, everybody does it. It'd be cool if that didn't so much anymore.
Well, I can tell you I don't disagree with your sentiments at all. I think that it's a big deal. I think it happens. I think that you're probably not aware that they are paying attention to it all the time, but we may not notice it. Just like the parking on the grass, or heck, we have all the time, there are people who decide not to pay attention to the rules. So if you were to state that about Tom, he'd say, oh, it happens almost every year, and it's sometimes it's the same people, it's the same excuse. They'll go through and they'll clean up everything in open pickup, and people will put it out the week after and say that they didn't get noticed, even though we know we're noticing it. We're doing better notifications ever on our website and on public knowledge, but I believe that it gets ignored every single year, and we do quite a bit of follow-up. I mean, enough to where I know, the only reason I know that is because I get the complaints. I can't believe you, I pay so much tax, I can't believe you won't pick this up. I didn't get notice. Well, we noticed it. It was out and they went right by it. No, we don't, we didn't just pick on your house. The same, so I think that it happens all the time. I think that just like there will be people every year, although the last year it's been much better about the flushing, right? We're getting ready, we flush in the spring, we flush in the fall, every single year. And there will be people that no matter what Bill and our communications director post will swear that they had no idea and they want us to pay for whatever damage might be, whether it's laundry every year or their hot water heater, even though we do everything we can. So I certainly, will you do me a favor and send notice to Paul, and we can even add some information about pickup at the same time, spring pickup and fall pickup. I don't know that we have an answer. It's an election year, and I ought to be able to say we're going to solve this, and that would be just dishonest. And I don't think we can. I think people don't pay attention to our website very much, and the more we communicate, it seems like the more they ignore it. And I think we just need to communicate regardless. We also pay and to have it put in the paper, and they ignore that. And I think that we put it on our social media, but boy, I noticed that what we put up on our social media, positive information, gets very little traction anywhere else. But boy, if you get somebody hurt or a group of kids goes and rides in the street and harassing old women, that will get shared multiple times by many news outlets. It just seems like anything negative gets a whole ton of traction and notice. And like if we had again brown water massively, like you'd almost not thought we did flushing last year in the right, because it wasn't the bad that it was 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago this time I was on vacation and I got all those calls, and I called him, so it's 7 at night, right? We got people screaming at us. Last year it was much better, and yet we didn't hear any. We don't even hear thank you, right? It's just funny, you don't, right? You only hear about the negative. You only I think we've learned a ton and done stuff, but and so I don't really have a solution. We need to communicate it. We do communicate it. We do follow up, right? I'm telling you, we do. I'm telling you that Tom constantly, the weeks before and after pickup are amazing, and the number of people that put stuff up right after pickup. Oh my God, I forgot. It's almost like the pickup reminds them that that's the end of open pickup, and they put it out. And then the question from my DPW superintendent is, Mayor, do you want me to spend the time doing that, or do you want me to tell him to bag it? And if he tells them to bag it and I tell him to, those people call my office directly, and you'd have thought we'd raise their taxes. And that's the reality of it. And I just don't, I gotta be honest with my ranking of understanding my influence is that I don't think I'm honestly going to be able to change that. Maybe that's not what people want to hear. When I'm that honest about other things, that's what I hear. There was a great article by Jim Beatty, or not Jim Beatty, not Zelmo, Doug, and because I was honest about what was it? There was a shooting, and a couple kids got shot, and I was honest that we need to call. We arrested the gentleman, and we issued him all the violations, and we're following the law, and that's everything that could be done, and we were doing a lot. And the answer to that was, back in my day, the mayor got these things done. I don't have an answer for that.
I can see it being, the leeway in the gray area afterwards, like the open pickup for the spring ends April, not May, or something. Like, people are putting out me-sized piles
Yeah.
in August.
Right.
That, to me, that's
And
a
so what's
clear, like,
happening, just so
you
you,
can take it on.
yeah, so you might not know, they're getting that warning, and then they're calling and complaining, and then we have that tough decision. Do we pick it up? Do we make it not? Do we take them to court? And everybody's unhappy, and we solve one problem or another. If you see bagged stuff out and you let us know, you let building and codes know, we'll go over and we'll start the process. And that will anger people. Nobody goes, oh, my bad. That doesn't happen.
A lot of times too, they put it in front of other people's houses.
Oh, I've
And
been
then it
the
turns into,
recipient of
well,
that.
whose is
That's
that?
what it is.
That's a lot of times that's what they do,
Yeah.
unfortunately, so,
Right.
Well, when I know years ago, the mayor would take care of all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's funny, right? I'm sorry. I gotta make a joke of it because it never ends.
Right.
There was a person, there was a couple
That's- yeah,
houses
because
on
then it's your
Haskell
problem.
Avenue
What are you doing?
doing,
Exactly.
putting it in front of neighbors'
yeah.
houses, and
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
finally just sent somebody over to
Because then
clean
how are you
it
gonna
up.
prove it's there? I know.
And these are the same things that they pile that, you get a rainstorm, catch basin gets clogged, and we never clean the catch basin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There you go. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that we just have to take that and continue to do the good job that being done. Nobody's ignoring it,
Okay.
and I can tell you that, right? And nobody's happy when it's addressed, right? I can't imagine. I think that having a job in almost any department here in the city has its challenges. Every job does, every department. But I think that there are times when you're happy to see somebody from water and sewer, especially if you got a break. But I can't say that about building and codes. I don't know, can you imagine somebody going, thank God the code enforcement is here. That's got to be the hardest one because they're just never happy about seeing you, right? And because of past years, that's got to be tough. Maybe that and the code, I've been accused of changing the parking laws, but we're just trying to enforce the parking laws that have been enforced or been in place since I was a little boy. We haven't changed any. We've lost several people in my term to that, and because they get abused. That's tough. I don't believe we have a personnel issue. And then-
Just have one thing, we got one transfer that transferred over to DPW, out of our field crew,
Right.
and we hired a new guy, so we started last month. So we're full staffing.
Only staff.
No, we're not going anywhere.
Not if Phil has anything
It
to
was
say about it.
Cody Purdy,
Funny.
Putney, perfect.
Yeah,
I'm-
Kurt's son, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was thinking the San Francisco 49. Yes, no, yeah.
So you see the next proposed dates. Monday the 15th is now a special meeting or a full meeting, and then the regular meeting Monday, October 6th. There goes September, October. I'm careful. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So,
Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Thank you.